everybody? It's Coach Dave alongside Anis Mohammed, and this is game one of the SAA November tour to the European nations. There are two games in this tour for South Africa A. We're at Parc y Cuivre in Cork County in Ireland. It's the old Irish War Dogs, Munster, taking on South Africa A. The second game will be next week against Bristol Bears, but this is a game with which South African A players would want to put their name on the sheet for the Springbok side in the coming games. There's an opportunity, particularly against Italy, where this side could stretch their legs and perhaps change things up in terms of their continuous policies. But before I get to Anis, don't forget you can like us on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and YouTube. Please click the subscribe button and ding the bell so that you know exactly when we go live. This is a game that is a warm-up, so to speak, for South Africa A, and an exhibition for the men from Munster. Anis, good evening. How are you feeling about this game?
I'm doing good. Thank you for the welcome. Most people write off these 18 games in this tour. This is a very interesting opportunity. That people might be missing the point that all these guys in this A team are knocking on the door for that World Cup squad. And if you're not in the A team and you're not in that box setup at the moment, you're going to have to play out of your socks to be able to get a foot in the door for the World Cup, which is next year. It's not that far away. So yeah, it's a good opportunity for these guys, and it's going to be interesting showing from the box team. A couple of real surprises for me. Johan Quirson, the old War Dog that was out of favor for a long time, back in the setup, which is very good to see. So you can never write off anybody, which is also from a selector standpoint and a player's standpoint, giving them great confidence.
Absolutely. Let's quickly run through the Munster side, and then you can bring us the SAA side. 1, 2, and 3, your front three for Munster: Wycherley, Barron, and Salanoa. Your lock pairing: Ed Dogbo, as well as Kieran McDonald. Jack O'Donoghue is captain for this game at one of the flank positions, and his opposite flanker is John Hodnett. Gavin Coombs is the number 8. Your halfback pairing: Paddy Patterson, the most Irish name you could ever think of, in conjunction with his number 10, Ben Healy. Simon Zebo and Shane Daly are your wings. Inside and outside centre: Rory Scannell and Antoine Frisch, as well as Mike Haley at the fullback position. For SAA?
Yeah, we're starting with Ntuko Nchunu. Joseph Dweba is the hooker, and Thomas Toy is make up the front row. Jason Jenkins going with here to make up 4 and 5, and a very exciting loose trio in Pepsi Buthelezi, Albert Rowe, and Jean-Luc Duprier. Our backs, we're starting with the scrum of Herschel Jantjies, the old war horse Johan Quirson at number 10. Leolin Zas is going to be our left wing. Cornel Hendricks and Henko van Beek are the center pairing. Suleiman Hartzenberg is our right wing, and Apile Lefasi, who is also a really, really exciting player, makes up the 15.
Yeah, there's a lot of familiar faces that you would have seen if you follow Springbok rugby. Thomas Totoy, Joseph Dweba, two names that would stick out quite loudly to you, as well as Herschel Jantjies, who's come back from injury lately. Johan Quirson, you mentioned, he's somebody that has been loudly spoken about in the setup at the Vodacom Bulls and his performance. But Cornel Hendricks, for me, was the biggest surprise in this SAA squad. You know, he's been around South African rugby for many years, so it's going to be exciting to see him going once again. South Africa A playing in their traditional green and gold, but the gold jerseys that we knew from way back, not the rather the British and Irish Lions series. They'll be playing right to left, and Munster in their new Adidas kit, playing left to right in red with navy blue shorts as well as sleeves. So exciting here. Carl Dixon is the referee for this evening. He's going to then get on a plane after this fixture and head to Marseille. Right to left is where the Springboks play. They kick it off high into the air, just inside the 22, and it's a good catch as the South Africans swamp. Now with Paddy Patterson, the man who basically should be St. Patrick, if he's not already so. Funny enough, St. Patrick was actually a Roman, but that's a story for another day. Patterson with a high hanging box kick out the back there, and Fassi will collect it nicely at the back. He's got some support from Goosen, looking for some options up the center. Not really finding a way through, but he's got good support there from Ruan Nortje. Now into the hands of the number 8 for South Africa, Jean-Luc Rupier. Pops out again for Nortje. Excuse me. And a good bit of work from the South Africans to maintain possession here early on. And they've already turned it over from where it was. Remember, they kicked it to the Munster side. And so now a box kick hanging up here for the Irish to get under it. Good catch there after a bit of a juggle from Ben Healy, and he's been slammed back, who's now handed it off, and now it's going to be kicked downfield to the far side of the park, just inside the 22. Fassi with an up and under. He's not really got anybody with him to chase, and that'll go out on the full. So frenetic pace here from the South African A side and East, but it's that small error from Fassi that has just kind of blemished his record early on here.
Yeah, look, if we look at how the senior team was playing on Saturday, also starting with a frenetic pace, trying to speed the game up, I think it might be signs of what the Boks might be doing next year, and trying to work on their game plan. Or it could be a double bluff. You never know.
Absolutely. Good catch there from Kieran McDonald in the middle of the line-out. Good maul here from Munster. They're driving up towards that South African A 22-meter line. They brought down just on the far side of the park. About 15 minutes in, pick and go from the Munster forwards looking to support one another. Patterson at the back again. He goes to Edogbo. Just heading up towards that 22-meter line. Flat throw there to Ben Healy. Ball through their hands. Now there's an opportunity out wide from Shane Daly. He's got space. Cornel Hendricks with a try-saving tackle. No, he hasn't. No. And immediately Munster on the board. 3rd minute of the game. And boy, oh boy, have they made the SAA side look like an SAB side.
Oh my, just coming up on the line too fast, creating the overlap. And Munster too good to not take advantage of that. Just throwing the ball around. Amazing hand skills and ball skills shown from Munster. Just drawing defenders left, right, and center. Cornel Hendricks with a despairing dive. Just couldn't hold on to his man. And Munster up 5.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you've seen in the training ground with the connection and the gel in how they run their set plays. Remember, the South African A side would have never played together, most of them, and so they wouldn't know their teammates and the positioning around defense and so on. And also where to trust their teammates and where not to trust their teammates. So it's an interesting start to this game. South Africa, first time in the professional era that they're coming to play Munster. But nevertheless, Munster on the board with 5 points. It'll be an interesting kick here. Remember, Munster's last 5 results, they've only got 2 out of their last 5, 2 wins out of their last 5 games, with losses coming against Connacht, Leinster, as well as Ulster. The last game was only 1 point difference between the two. But with the high wind and these gusts of 65, it's going to make goal kicking here very difficult. But there's no problem there as he slots it easily. Ben Healy, what a great spot kick there to get his team the 2 points required.
Fantastic kick there. Just seeing this again, we had I think Fassi ran up, and there was no cover on his outside, trying to cut off that pass, and I think Munster just drew them in.
Kickoff once again. Good catch there by Coombs under some pressure from the men in green and gold. Waiting now at the back of the ruck is Paddy Patterson. He goes to a dog ball. Not really getting any forward momentum, but piling bodies in are the Munster men. High hanging kick from Patterson. Is there anybody at home? It is. It's Fassi. And will he go himself? We saw a brilliant try from him against Georgia for the Springboks. Good bit of work there from Thomas du Toit, skipper. Jean-Luc Dupré driving over the 10-meter line for the Springbok A team. Right, here we go. Cornel Hendricks in a bit of space. He's got Hartzenberg handing off the ball to him. Rather, the other way around. Nevertheless, South Africa moving forward with Nkunu, and the ball is knocked forward from Jenkins. Jenkins, remember, only playing that one game for South Africa against Wales all those years ago. That one is just kicked out on a couple of the bounces, and it's going to be a line-out throw to South Africa.
Looked as if the ref was playing advantage for a bit of a high tackle there by Weber. But just the passing just not stringing together good enough at this moment in time for the Boks. They just need to settle down. But I know they want to up the tempo, which seems to be the case.
South Africa now. I'm just going to call them South Africa. If we say the whole game, it's going to be confusing. Right. 2 Scotsmen on either side of the field as assistant. But nevertheless, it's Nokia who catches it.
The driving maul.
Good maul here from the South Africans as they push up to the 10-meter line. Uncontested for a portion there. But in the end, Yankees gets on the back of it. Cornel Hendricks into contact and a great bit of counter-rucking there from Jean-Luc Dupré. Referee says there's no stress there. Just a good bit of work there. Pick and go from Elrich Lowe as it pops out unconvincingly from the back. Yankees looking for his target, and he's setting up now for the box kick. High hanging kick. Good bit of work there. The wind will be swirling there. There was a yellow warning wind coming into this game. Good catch there for Mike Haley. Handing off now to the left wing, Zebo. South Africa retain position and then immediately punt it away. No, you have it. No, you have it. Lots of flat, low kicks here from either side. They're not trying to get things up into the wind, but then that last kick means that Henku van Wyk will just pick it up behind his dead ball line there. Obviously, both sides liking the box kick and up and under as a way in which they can put pressure under their opposite number. But what we've seen now is 2 consecutive flat, low kicks to avoid. Tactical kicking is all low and flat, whereas the attacking kicking is all very high-level stuff. But the referee's gone back for the knock-on. The scrum, rather.
Munster's definitely not scared to run at the box. I'm just going to call them the box. They're definitely not scared at all to run at them. And it's going to be a test.
I'm looking forward to the scrum time. Absolutely. Nkunu, Dweba and Detroit at the front. Immediately they go down again. Referee Carl Dixon saying that we need to reset it. Just a random stat that the goalposts at this ground, traditionally used for Gaelic football, weren't going to be good enough for this game. And so the poles from Thomond Park were dismantled and then thrown on the back of a truck and transported to Park Equive.
Okay, that's interesting. Oh yeah, because the Gaelic football, they've got an actual goal.
Goal, yes, right. So short-term penalty there for the Springboks. Early engagement from the Munster men. SAA not really able to stretch their legs with the scrum, and now they will because Mr. Toy, the most prop thing to do when you win a penalty, don't kick for the corner, mate. Scrumming again.
Yeah, I love to see this. I think that on Saturday, one of the most frustrating things for me to see was that when the Boks had an attacking scrum, they got penalized. I'm like, why would they collapse their own scrum?
Good feed there into that South African scrum. Good contest here. Both sides struggling, and then the South Africans get the penalty advantage. Here we go. Out the back to Goosen. Goosen sends it out wide to Fassi, who's joined the lineup here. Tries to kick it through to find somebody at home. And this is a blunder of note by Mike Haley. Fumbles it back and fumbles it back again. That's poor control from him with his hands on the ball. And looks like there's going to be a 5-meter scrum here. Do you think he's knocked it on there?
No, he carried it back.
Ah, right, with you. Oh, yes, you can clearly there. It looks like a fumble in live action, but there you can clearly see that he's doing a little bit more. Yeah, he gets up with a cheeky smile on his face, and good call there by Carl Dixon.
Yeah. Gonna be a big scrum now. First first visit by South Africa into Munster's 22. Can they make it count? The Achilles heel of South African teams.
Absolutely. These two teams meeting on 3 previous occasions, the most recent in 1970. This one came out disgustingly out the back of the South African scrum, and Jean-Luc Dupré ran into a wall of red and blue, and so is hoping to get some support. Good bit of work there from the South Africans. They go straighter towards the center of the field. Carrion go there from the skipper, and he's got some support from his men either side. Offside is the call here, and away we go with the penalty advantage for the South Africans. Yankees through to Norkia. He goes up onto the 5-meter line. Yankees, there's an intercept, and because of the advantage, South Africa will have the penalty here. You would have thought for a moment, if you weren't paying attention, that Roman Salanoa there, the prop, was A for away.
Oh no, he wasn't. He was offside by a mile. When he got there,
That's what I said. If you weren't paying attention,
yeah,
if you didn't quite understand rules. Thomas du Toit, remember, he's Sharks captain as well.
Yeah.
Come on, I want him to scrum here again.
Not Sharks, South African Sharks, Sail Sharks.
There we go, scrum time. Yes, fellas.
But he is.
Well, he's the Cell Sea Sharks. Thomas du Toit.
Sea Shark. Yeah, sorry. I was thinking
of Sharks captain. Yeah. That's Sail Sharks. Not, there's a lot of sharks.
Yeah. Does he smell blood in the water? Oh, the Panzer start.
That is exactly what Thomas du Toit would have wanted. Scrum in front of the posts. Is it too cheeky here to say drop goal?
Hudson's not in position. Great boot on him, does Hudson, so he needs to drop back into that pocket.
Take us through the
also
next
the win. The big shove by South Africa now, but they're getting shoved back. It's going nowhere. Herschel Yankees quick ball. Bit of a fumble by Cornel Hendricks as they regather and start their march towards the line. Again, Herschel Yankees, and I can't see who that was, but the ball's out at the back, and it's a quick pickup by, is it Spirit? No.
Nokia,
yeah.
Not Anrich Nokia.
As the ball is spread wide, and it is going to be Fassi in the corner. Fantastic try. This one, Munster just committed too many to the breakdown, creating the overlap. Fassi had a man on his outside, didn't need him, and just dove for the corner, sliding in for that try. And the score is 7-5 to Munster.
Yeah, it was a bit of an interesting one there, because the South Africans piled all their men into the ruck, and then it was coast-to-coast type stuff. And for double confusion, Carl Dixon was pointing an advantage to Munster, and then dropped his arm and then switched the other direction. I mean, if you were still learning the game as a fan at home, boy, oh boy, was that confusing. Sold-out park here at Park Equive would certainly be quiet now. And Johan Goosen with that final pass, skip pass out to Fassi, and you knew as soon as he got it that there was no mistake going to be made there. 7 points to 5, and a smile on the face of Hartzenberg.
Fassi way too quick. Seeing that line and a bit of open territory in front of him, he was always going to go for it. Johan Goosen is now lining up his first kick of the game, taking a long stare and coming in, and he has nailed this one, gone straight through the middle. But with the wind, he didn't do what most fly-offs do. As soon as they hit it sweetly and turn immediately, he watched it go over, and so the scores are now level with Munster to kick off. The South African coaching staff seem very happy about that one.
Right.
Not so convincing.
One try piece.
Still not too convincing from the South Africans. Just happy that their visit to the 22 resulted in points, as there is a short kickoff and a bit of a knock-on from the box, and it will be a scrum down to Munster near the center of the field, about 10 meters in, away from outside the South African 22. Short kickoff.
Cheeky bit of play there from Ben Healy.
Yeah.
Because there was nobody really in that space, and all he had to do was get at the 10 meters required. And he's done
that's
exactly
interesting.
that.
Fussy didn't touch that ball.
Yeah, I think it was a bit of a knock on there from Buthelezi.
Oh, Buthelezi. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
The
Pepsi
regather.
Buthelezi.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed that he isn't actually sponsored
by
by
Pepsi.
that drink company. Yes.
And penalty to South Africa as the Munster front row just disintegrates. Thomas du Toit is looking like a bit. Whoa! Thomas du Toit is psyched up. Joseph Dweber flexing his massive chest. We talk about Hulk Hogan's 24-inch python. How big is Joseph Dweber's chest? Jeez, 90% chest. As the kick is taken by, but doesn't find touch. And Munster running back at the box within the tram lines. They've now just passed halfway, and there is a bit of nothing much as the ball back, and the ball is moving back from Munster. They now double movement, and it is a scrum down again to Munster.
Yeah, that's poor from the
double
South
movement.
Africans. A penalty, and then you don't kick it out. And I understand. I mean, to give you those listening at home an idea of what it's like. The wind is 33 kilometers an hour with gusts of 65. Like I said, there is a yellow warning for wind, but you've still got to kick it out. Rather, maybe kick it to the far side where the wind is blowing.
Yeah, go
Again,
cross field.
I suppose
cross field,
it's difficult if you're kicking into the wind.
Is the wind coming across the ground, or
I think it's the boxer kicking into the wind here. Bok
okay.
Sa from the Sa side.
The scrum is in, and the big hit now. Munster have wheeled it around, got a bit of space on the outside, but it is shut down well by two Boks, as Munster is lying on the wrong side. But lying on the wrong side, and they are penalised for it. Tackler not rolling away, dove right on the ball, and it's another scrum.
To Lawrence Tilecoat. He says, "Hello everyone, come on South Africa, we can win this." Yeah, well, it's the only side that Munster have picked up a victory against.
Okay, so apologies, ladies and gentlemen. The referee stopped the game for penalty for South Africa for Munster going off their feet at the breakdown and not rolling away and playing the ball on the ground, literally laying on the ball. However, the touch judge has now adjusted that it was a knock on by South Africa and it's scrum down to Munster.
And then we get a scrum penalty.
Yeah, and hopefully they kick it out. So scrum to Munster again, inside the 22, about 10 meters out from the line, 5 meters away from outside, and a scrum penalty. Well called by coach. And the Boks have gotten the scrum penalty. That will relieve some pressure. Can Johan Hussen kick this one out? Will he go short? Will he go long? And he's hoofed it. And it's just over the South African 10 meters. So it's not out of South African territory yet. But South Africa have to put in the line out. As we await Joseph Dweber getting his instructions from
Will he throw straight?
Oh, yeah, I think he did himself a disservice as the lineout is good and the maul is formed and the Boks are going walkies past the 10-meter line now. Munster piling into the maul. Stop, they're going sideways. Osho Yanchis peels away and is taken. That was out. The ball taken away from Osho Yanchis. The Munster scrummy manages to get his hands on the ball, but unfortunately put a foot in touch, and he was away.
Yeah, he wouldn't have been caught there.
Nah, he was gone. Osho Yanchis.
It was good tackle, disruptive tackle there from Jack O'Donoghue.
In the middle of a pass.
Munster captain.
But beautiful timing on that tackle. with the scrum to come. Coach?
Yeah, it's just going to be an interesting battle here between these two sides as they scrum. Thomas du Toit, like you said, and Joseph Dweba and Kunu as well will be fired up. So how the next couple of scrums go is going to be crucial for Munster to still fight their way back into this game. Otherwise, they're going to be struggling all night long.
Scrum gone down again, and they will reset. The Munster front row not taking the hit very well thus far in the game.
Remember, these guys in this Munster side, with all credit to them, may or may not have played international rugby, and to what extent. You know, these South African front rows, barring Mkunu, have, Mkunu still had some time at scrum time, but it's a different game at the international level.
Yeah. As they said again, engage is called. The scrum is on the move. A good scrum from Munster this time. Ball not popping out the back, popping out the side. Oshuyantji's quick ball, and it is the South African. Nice. Good hands from. No, not good hands. Was it a knock on?
Yeah, I think there's a bit of a knock on there from Elrich Lowe. But what a bounce off there from Leolin Zas. My word, he told him to sit down, fella. Have a seat.
Oh,
bang.
Yeah.
Even Etzebeth eat your heart out. Another scrum in the offing here.
This time to Munster from Elrich Lowe with its little knock on. Referee saw it, and they scrum down again. Lots of set pieces here, but nothing coming from it because of the stop-start nature of the penalties that are being given away. Another scrum. There's the engagements called. Looking a bit skewed this side from the near side, and there's the big shove from the box. Managed to wheel and give themselves some space on the blind side. Held up now. Oshuyantji may have turned over. No, he hasn't. And Munster recycle up the middle. And there is a knockdown. Deliberate knockdown.
Yeah, I think it's deliberate knockdown, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, so this one's going to be an easy one for Healy to kick. He just throws the grass in the air. He knows he's kicking with the wind. He may as well just punt it for the final corner. Nearly. Oh, gee whiz, yes. You can clearly see that the Boks are playing into the wind, so they must have lost the toss in the lead up to this game. But just have a look at that scrum from Munster. Certainly, this is what we called for, and it's one that they will no doubt be proud of. As you can see, the rain starts to fall in Cork. But boy, oh boy, is it going to be... It's tough rugby all round. Difficult rugby conditions. One is the severe weather. And then on top of it, rain. Severe wind, rain, conditions underfoot are not going to be easy, but this is where Munster will certainly show their strength. Right, 24th minute. Munster about 8 meters out from the try line. Good throw there from Barron. More in the offing here. Drifting inside, but not really going anywhere. Just going sideways. Penalty advantage here for Munster. Paddy Patterson sends it to his number 8, Coombs. Going up towards that 5-meter line and gets some momentum there. Paddy Patterson again for some options there and here.
Whoa.
Still the penalty advantage. Attempted turnover by du Toit, but he has to leave it alone. Cross kick now from Healy. Is there somebody in the corner? No, it's a valiant attempt in the air from Zebo to get a hand on it, but it's gone out. And they'll come back for the penalty advantage.
It's it was very frustrating now for the Boks. It's raining, it's miserable now. Now it's time for them to dig in. They're coming back for the penalty, which is 5 meters out. Will Munster go for the line? Line out, not go for the line, but go. It would actually make sense.
I suppose both.
Just charge it.
I would go for a scrum, but I'm not the one with the captain's armband. So Jack Donahue deciding not to... Jack O'Donoghue, sorry. Deciding not to go for it. And in this instance, they're going to go for a line. It was a cheeky attempt, and why not? It's something that
Yeah,
Our fellow
penalty
commentator
advantage. Go
Otto
for it.
Simon said on the weekend in the Ireland game, he said, well, if you got advantage, why not?
Yeah.
Right, throw now.
Oh, nice.
In the offing. Barron, turnover ball for the Springboks. Is there a way through for Zas? He's got good support there immediately. At the back is Yankees. Is he going to send it through to Goosen? He is. Oh, he doesn't. He sends it to Joseph Dweber to pick and go, maybe to give Goosen a little bit more direction. Some support here from Du Toit. Does he want the ball? No, he joins in. Now there's a box kick in the offing. High hanging kick, and he's just kicked it into the air, so that'll go straight out just over the 22-meter line, and it'll be a Munster throw as we head towards the half-hour mark. Remember, you can comment on this broadcast like Lawrence has, and you can go on Facebook and YouTube and comment there, or tweet us at OneWorldSR. We'd be happy to hear your thoughts. If you want to tweet us, he's Anis Moha. I'm at Coach Dave 93, and at Ozmaster is our producer for this evening, but he'll be joining in once the joy of load shedding kicks in for me and comes to an end for him. Driving now in the middle of the park are Munster. An option here for Munster as they're at a penalty advantage coming again. Certainly likely that it was for offside. South Africa needs to be more disciplined. Goes Frisch. Is he sending it to Healy? He is, and takes it into tackle. Edogbo. Now with Patterson again.
Oh!
Running through the hands on the far side. Intercept. Here come the South Africans. And the referee's blown his whistle. Because Zas didn't hear the whistle. South Africa are punished for
penalty.
An offside infringement there. And there's some
No,
coarse words there from Mzwandile Stick, SAA coach and South African assistant coach.
Oh, he was gone. There was no one was going to catch him. But, except the referee's whistle.
Left behind, son.
Yeah. I didn't hear the whistle. Oh, are they going to... Munster should go for the points. Nope, they're going for the corner.
I think this is an opportunity for both sides, as we said at the top of the game. It's kind of a warm-up and kind of a mid-season friendly, which is strange. I mean, it's a sold-out game here at Park Equive. And so you would think that this was the Heineken Cup final or European Cup final or, Rugby Championship final, United Rugby Championship final, but it's just an SAA game. But it shows how the Irish rugby faithful are certainly here to support their team. Throw on the 6-meter line or so. Good catch in the end. There was an attempt there, but Kieran McDonald making sure he receives the ball. Pick and go from Edogbo. Patterson looking for options, but you almost suspect that O'Donoghue is going to pick and go. There's a drive for the line, but they're not going to get it. Patterson with an option. He skips the forwards, goes out to the backs. Wide kick there from number 10. Pass there. A skip pass out to Zebo rather, and Zebo gets on the end of it. Like you said, it's an easy try. Collects it, and over he goes. There was nobody at home for the SAA side, and he can throw his gang signs to celebrate. It's not gang signs. I don't know. Maybe that's his Z. Maybe it's a Z for Zebo. Got you.
Yeah. But you were saying about the game being sold out. It's like I remember when the British and Irish Lions, not this current tour, the tour before,
2009, yeah.
Yeah, 2009. They played a warm-up game in my hometown of Nebeja, and it was packed. The stadium was packed. It was just before the World Cup, the 2010 World Cup. They finished the stadium. It was the first event there, and the place was packed. It was sold out because, much like these fans, they may never get to see a Springbok game. So this is the closest they're getting to it. So that's why there's probably not much to do besides drink Guinness.
Absolutely. So a couple of comments from our viewers. Lawrence Talcote saying, what do you guys say about South Africa versus France? Who will win? We'll get to that in a sec. Dion Pretorius saying, I would comment if there was a live stream. Well, there's only one broadcaster that has visual broadcasting rights, Dion. So you're going to have to join them. But we are the R in One World Sports. 1WSR is radio, and that conversion is easily slotted. Munster go up another 7 points. So good bit of work there from them. But please, Dion, please join us. Maybe sync ours with the broadcaster, and you'll be able to enjoy. Well, I think we're certainly far more entertaining than the guys from Ireland. But they probably could say Parikikwev a lot better than we could. Right, kickoff once again. Just inside the 22-meter line of Munster, but he's immediately swarmed by men in green shirts, and so he's not able to get as far forward as he would have liked off the kickoff there. Patterson having to dig this ball out with his foot, showing his rugby football skills there. Thumped high into the air for Fassi to take the catch. He does it and impresses everybody in the Proteas team. Good bit of work from Corson, breaking up through the middle. Dutoy in support there. Yankees. Hands off to his number 4, Jenkins, who wants to return to the Springbok side. Only one test to his name, as I said. So there's an opportunity for all of these guys to fight their way back, especially ahead of Rugby World Cup 2023. They want to be part of that side. Over she goes with Goosen in the middle. Yankees tries to give this away quickly there to Henko van Wyk. He had a wonderful game against the Stormers as part of United Rugby Championship a couple of weeks ago, impressing Mzwandile Stick in his outing. Hendricks here with some space down the outside, brought down there by Jack O'Donoghue. Interrupted is Yankees, and Dixon says it's fine, it's kicked away, and South Africa get possession once again. Van Wyk in the middle of the park. Can he dance away from 1 or 2? No, he only gets away as far as the dog ball. Good support there by the men in green and gold. Yankees through to Dwebo, who breaks through the wall there, looking like the Kool-Aid man arriving. Oh, yeah! Right.
Oh, yeah!
Yankees at the back again. Box kick high for Fassi, possibly to get onto it. He doesn't. And Hartzenberg is the man who does the cleanup work. Right on the far side.
Nice.
South Africa's got nobody home. Eventually, Yankees arrives. Handing off now to his forwards, trying to go pick and go. Again, the opportunity there. Skip pass. Van Wyk runs out of room and tries to hand off his would-be attacker. No opportunity there for him to hand it off quickly, but eventually through some good rucking, he's able to pick it up and move it forward. South Africa in trouble here as they go through Mkunu, who's held up right in a flat position, not really having any options as they go to the far side of the park. Jean-Luc Dupré. Frantic bit of work here from the Springbok A side. In the hands of Jenkins, a man who plays in Ireland. So a good bit of work for him. An attempted ruck there, but nothing coming. Kicked high into the air, but kicked into the wind. Opportunity for South Africa, but it's a mark called there by Mike Haley. And that is thus the end of that phase of play. Henko van Wyk, Emily Vormerans is saying, how's he doing? Well, the problem is, I think the structure of the defense, and Easton, maybe you can touch a little bit more as you take us through to half time. The structure of the South African attack play doesn't look ordered, if that makes sense.
No, it's they're not recycling after every ruck. So they're getting a lot of static ball, or the runners, because they're not in a position to run onto the ball with pace because they're being constantly stopped. And we've been seeing Munster not committing a lot of players to the breakdown, and not committing a lot of players to the rucks, where as soon as the tackle's made and the ball is protected by the 1 or 2 Springboks, the Munster defenders disengage and form their defensive line. So while they're doing that, no one is marshalling the back line to attempt to do another move. So it's just static ball, crash ball, crash ball. That's why Yankees seems like his only option is to do the box kick into the wind, which is so really frustrating. Instead of keeping ball in hand, trying to rumble it up. But yeah, it's weird to see. Well, not weird to see. It's basically par for the course with the South African team not showing any real Not having a really dynamic
Dynamism. Yeah.
attack. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
the word.
Your partner for the next 6 minutes is Otto Simon, and the rest of the game, as I'm sure load shedding is imminent for me. So thank you. And Anise and Otto, please, can you win this game? We don't want to lose to a club side.
We'll try as Dweber gets the throw in. As Otto, and the maul is formed. South Africa going forward, but have been stopped now. Use it once is the call. Oshuyanchis gets it and is shaping for the box kick. Doesn't this time, and it gets it to his forward pack, who are starting to rumble it forward again. Again, the attack is not, the attacking line is not reforming fast enough. And static ball once again. Munster have just stopped the box in their tracks as the box kick is sent up again. This one falls short of everyone, and a huge tackle by the South Africans. But Munster have gained possession, and they will now try to get themselves out of trouble. Shaping for the box kick is the scrum half, and gets it in with the wind at his back. Gets a whole lot of distance. Quirson puts this one back in the air. Ping pong rugby. Chase is on, and that one has gone backwards. And Munster running at South Africa now. About inside their own half, about 10 meters in there, between the 10 meter and the 22, as this one is launched up midfield and is picked up by Huisen at the back, who hoofs it back. Ping pong rugby, and this one is just full short, bounces to the Munster fullback, who tries to dab it through, and they are running up the trams now, and they're in the South African half, 5 meters out from the South African 10-meter line, running, spreading it wide, going up the middle now is a Munster, just crashing against the South African defense. A couple of Munster players causing an overlap by drawing defenders in. Munster have run all the way through, and there's going to be a knock-on inside the South African 22. Munster carving through the South African defense, Otto.
Yeah, that was just a well-connected play between forwards and backs, and then the number 15 there for Munster, Haley, just slicing through, making meters for Munster and getting into the South African 22. Munster are doing a good job of just keeping field position, and taking advantage of that, making sure that the Springboks need to play from their own 22.
Yeah.
So that's a very intelligent play by this Irish powerhouse side. The last time these two sides met was in 1970, and Munster has never beaten a South African touring side. The first meeting was in 1956, 51, and then again in 1960, and then 10 years later at Thomden Park in 1970 was the last time that the Springboks played against Munster, and so a Springbok touring side. So on my screen right now, the Springboks have a scrum penalty against them.
Yep, going down on the far side, as Munster will go for the corner, been successful thus far, and the Springboks under real the Bok A under real pressure now with this Munster side. 14 points to 7. They trail with 2 minutes.
So Healy,
to go.
Ben Healy, the number 10 for Munster, kicking the ball over the far side touchline. Going to set up a line out for Munster on the 5-meter line of the Springbok A side. And let's see what Munster can do here. It's the number 6 who takes it, and it's a maul well set by Munster. Driving towards the Springbok line, going towards the 15-meter line. They're bringing the ball in field. The Springboks are at 6s and 7s here, and Munster are over the line. They've got another try. They're going to take a 19 to 7 point lead here in Cork at the Park Equive and Park Equive, excuse me. So Munster are putting it on the South African A side tonight in Cork, in Ireland. It's a big test for these Springbok players. It's a moment in time for the Munster players as well to prove themselves against their URC counterparts. All of these guys know each other a little more than they knew each other 2 years ago. But that was an excellent maul by Munster. The Springboks trying to get the maul to go towards the try line, and Munster just sticking to their guns. All the forwards under one blanket, as your coach would say, and just rumbling over the line. Excellent try there by Munster. It's 19 points to 7. Munster leads South Africa with 30 seconds to go in the first half.
Yeah, just the South African defense just disintegrating there under pressure, but not much they could do once that maul started going forward, and just had to take it on the chin as the rain is now bucketing down, coming down in sheets. Typical Irish weather as the conversion is nailed. 21-7 to Munster. Conditions getting very, very slippery out there now, as it is just a sheet of rain where we can now follow the wind, which is howling. As the
Springboks kicking off right to left on our screens, and it is collected by the Springboks, but lost in contact. The referee is not happy with that. It's a penalty to the Springboks in the middle of the park, just outside the Munster 22. And so I think here for SAA team, they need to go for the corner. They need to get something on the board here. They trail by 21 points to 7 against Munster in Cork.
Why does
and you can see Goosen is punting this ball to the near side touchline. The Springboks playing right to left on our screens, and you can see the waves of wind, the squalls coming in into the stadium. It is a very difficult circumstance to play rugby. The rain is not really heavy, but those squalls just keep sweeping through the stadium. Everything is getting wet very fast, and time is up in the first half. Dweba with the throw in to Nortje on the near side touchline. 6 meters in from the near side touchline. The Boks have 8 meters to go. The maul is set. Joseph Dweba has the ball at the back. Use it once, says the referee. Springboks rumbling forward. No penalty for the Munster team as Dweba goes rumbling forward, but he loses the ball in contact. The referee is making a call here. Let's see what he says. It's either the end of the half or a penalty. He's calling the Munster captain over. He's saying there's too many penalties in this area. And so that must be another penalty to the Springboks. That's Joseph Dweba. Yes, he said pulling the maul down. Goosen punched the ball over the near side touchline once again, 5 meters out from the Munster try line for SAA team. And very deliberate pull down there, and Dweba tried to rescue it, but good defense by Munster. He could have been in for a try there as Dweba tried to crash over, as we see the replay. Now Dweba on the 5 meter line on the near side touchline to Nortje. Contact in the air with Nortje. The referee didn't spot that quite yet. Yes, he says contact in the air with the player in the air, another penalty, and now the referee is giving another warning. So this has to be a card. Ref, you already warned them. The ref can't hear me, but if he did, he would have made the correct call. Contact in the air, jumping across the line, says the referee. Goosen punts it over the near side touchline. It's going to be another 5 meter scrum. And that was contact to the head as well. So, we've seen yellow cards. We've seen red cards for that kind of stuff. Dweba with the throw. Nortje takes it in the middle of the line out. The Springboks now 2 meters out, rumbling with their maul. Very good looking ball. The ball is on the ground now, lost by the Springboks once again. Just like we saw last week against Highland, they are their own worst enemy. Munster kicking the ball downfield over the near side touchline, and it's going to be half time as Munster break out of their 5 meter area with a counter attack. that broke down on the halfway line, and the Springboks lucky to escape another try there. Nobody on the wing covering, and the ball kicked forward by the Munster backs as they counter-attack. It's halftime in Cork at the Parc de Cuivre. We did do a lot of research on how this place's name is pronounced. If you have any other suggestions, you can get in touch. Sure.
PDQ.
This Springbok A side, the SAA side, they are getting some rugby lessons from the Irish
I think
province here.
I think it just as soon as that rain started bucketing down, the whole tempo of the game changed. The Boks trying to play an expansive, fast type of rugby with that sort of weather makes no sense. They need to slow things down a bit now and keep to their structures. Also, kicking into the wind a lot is also something that's frustrating. Some harsh words are going to be said during that halftime break, but they're going to have the wind at their backs for the second half. So it should be rather interesting to see if the Springboks can come out guns blazing.
Yes, indeed. So thank you very much, everybody watching. We do appreciate all the support, all the comments coming through. I'm going to read through a few of them. Dion Pretorius giving us some tips there. Dion, thank you very much. We do keep an eye on where the play goes, and if we let it slip, you must let us know. Lorenzo Bailey Mann saying a strong SAA side, torn apart by Munster, absolutely embarrassing. Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. At this point, it's not what we expected at all. Some of the best fringe players, some of the best players that many people think should be in the team, in the Springbok team, and they're looking a bit disjointed. They don't look like a well-oiled machine.
This would be, if you think about it, this is the third game that these guys have played together in like 2 years. So they don't have that cohesion that the Munster players do play with each other every week.
But this isn't the main Munster team.
Oh, true.
This Munster team has got some real no names in it as well.
Yeah.
Simon Zebo on the bench. They've got Malachi Fikitoa. The rest of the guys, I've got no idea. No, haven't heard of any of them. Idogbo, of course. We've seen him in the URC.
Yeah.
Jack O'Donoghue, the captain at number 6 for Munster. So this is not a full-strength Munster team. So I think Lorenzo has got a good point there. It is a bit embarrassing to see the best of South Africa against a Munster A side, really.
Yeah. But when you can look at the positives. Our front row dominated them for the majority of that half until it started bucketing down. Just unforced errors again, costing the South Africans. But take nothing away from Munster. They finished very, very well, and they created a lot of opportunities, and their backs are carving through the South African defense.
Yep. And then we've got a comment here from Lawrence Stillcoat. Lawrence, you've got money on the game. There's no magic here, I can assure you. And then Michael Forbes says South Africa will win this game, and 3 rugby balls and about 9 or 10 flags there. So thank you very much, everybody, for your comments coming through on YouTube and Facebook. We do appreciate it. That's the best way to support us, is to listen, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure that you know when we go live. We've got some new comments coming through here. Oh no, Dion has left us. He says he's going to watch the highlights. Thank you, Dion, for for your one little view there. We do appreciate that as well.
Thanks, yeah.
And if you think you can do better, Dion, send your voice note to admin@1wsr.com. You can join our commentary team, and anybody else out there. We're just doing this for fun. So enjoy your evening further, Dion. And now the halftime show is going to be the Full Quota podcast. Tim and Mpo are going to explain to us what went wrong with the Proteas in the World Cup. So cover your hair and your eyes if you're a South African cricket fan. If you're not a big cricket fan, these guys are going to break it down for you, and you'll be the talk. You're going to be able to walk the talk at the water cooler tomorrow morning. So we'll be back in about 6-7 minutes for the second half, Munster versus South Africa A.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Full Quota podcast. My name is Mpho Mutlani, and I've got Tim Dale-Lace with me to talk all things happening in South African cricket. Obviously, we'll talk about the Cricket World Cup, but we are a South African cricket podcast, and remember, you can let your friends know. Please do subscribe to our One World Sports Radio channel. We also have an audio podcast on Anchor, as well as Anchor Podcast, as well as Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So please do go check us out there. We also have a Patreon account. If you want to just drop in some cash, go check it out at Patreon /1WSR, One World SR, actually. So Tim, two big games in South African cricket this weekend. One was a final. The other one was a group stage match. The group stage match left us all perplexed, but we're going to talk about that. But let's just go through the CSA 20 final. The Titans winning the CSA T20 tournament this time, beating the Dolphins in Potchefstroom by 4 wickets. It was an interesting game because I think you saw that partnership between John Smuts and Keegan Peterson, and you kind of felt it was a 115-run partnership, and you kind of felt like, okay, well, this team is there. And a 160 on a pitch like that, that's been used. There's so much cricket over the month that, okay, they're gonna this is actually a really nice little thing for the Titans. Obviously, we know they've got Diego Brevis, they've got Donovan Ferreira, they've got this lineup, and the Titans made a little bit tough going of it up front in their chase. But they managed to get through. I just felt they just kept on losing wickets at interesting times, and when they were 5 for 98, I just felt like, one more wicket and they found themselves in trouble. But then Donovan Ferreira, he came in 40 of 25 with Dan Khalim 32 of 22 just to win the game from them. Tim, what did you make of that game, and what did you think of? What did you make of that game actually? And the standard of the final.
I thought that the final really, it upped the levels in terms of the cricket that we saw over the last 3 weeks. I enjoyed it in general, the tournament, but the final, it genuinely was the top 2 teams playing against each other. It wasn't somebody sneaking in and winning a semi-final and going through to the final. It genuinely was the best batting team versus the best bowlers. The Dolphins, they must be thinking, how do we beat this Titan side? They just cannot beat this Titan side, no matter what they do. Like you, I thought they had enough runs on the board. I thought they'd got just about enough. Their strength was their bowling. I thought, particularly when Brevis goes out early, I thought, okay, that's it. It might go down to the last couple of overs, but when it comes down to the death, Bartman and Bosch, they will see it out. They'll sneak the win. But this is why he was bought for the big bucks. This is why he went for the big bucks. It didn't matter what the Dolphins bowled. Wide, full tosses, Yorker length ball, back of a length. It all went out the ground. The bowlers did try different things. And I think at the end of the day, the best team won because the Titans were consistent from ball one. They were on the money in all three formats throughout the tournament. The Dolphins had a slow start. They got themselves into the tournament at the back end of the competition. But the Titans, they were just so strong. They were so strong. And they didn't even have to play Dean Naga. Now, Dean Naga's not a great T20 cricketer, but he is the national captain. They just ticked all the boxes. Spin bowlers were phenomenal throughout the tournament. Pankiso was probably the pick of them. But Brunt as well. Brunt, he didn't contribute as much as he would have.
He's a handy all-round option.
I think in this format, you probably could bat him at 6. You could say bat you at 6, but you were going to be our bowling all-rounder. He's so effective with his left arm spin, and he was so effective in this tournament. The Dolphins, the Dolphins didn't do a lot wrong, but it was the one game where Bartman could not afford to have an off day. Yeah. Bartman had an off day. He missed. He didn't miss by much, but he missed his lines and legs a little bit. And if you do that against somebody like Ferreira, you are gonna get punished.
Yeah. And T20 is one of those situations, especially in the final, where you want your big players to come through. Or Bartman not taking a wicket is a glare. It's something glaring when you look at it to be like, okay, it's hard. It's hard to make inroads in this format. Everyone else pitched it, and that was great, but you needed him as well to come through, and especially against Donovan Ferreira, because you want your best bowler against their best batter. And I know everyone's going to come down and say Devil Brevis is their best batter, but no, he's not. It's Donovan Ferreira. He is their guy. He is that good. Yes, the guy scored 162. I get you, but Donovan Ferreira, and he comes in at 6. He's a power hitter. And look, I'm happy with the Titans. The Titans look buttoned up, and previous years they didn't look buttoned up. They had come with some weird selection issues. I think this year the selection issues kind of sorted themselves out, and they picked the best team. Because I remember watching them last year, and obviously they were playing like Grant Mokwena, and it looked really disjointed at the top. Obviously, Joel Brevis wasn't there. And then now this time you look at that and you're like, okay, they've invested in Javesh Pillay, who last year didn't have one of the better seasons, but he's still one of the top young batters they had. Obviously, they still kept with Tiernas de Brain, so they chose who of their older core they wanted in, and Tiernas de Brain, as always, the guy's still good enough to play for the Proteas. But obviously we've seen that road. We're done. We're not going back there. But as a domestic cricketer, he is very good. He is unbelievably good, and a really great guy for the changing room. And then obviously Neil Brunt, as you spoke of, Donovan Ferreira, the up and coming guy coming into the system, who had a great season last year, got the money for SA20, and now he's stepping into his own, And then obviously the Pangi shows. They did have a little bit of a Simon Harmer issue that bothered me a lot, but you need 2 spinners, and he was their second spinner, so like, what am I supposed to do? And Neil Brunt and Pangiso, both left-arm spinners, just kind of is like, unless if I need a ball 10 over the spin, Neil Brunt comes in. Outside of that, and look, the bowling, always had an issue. My with like Dan Khalim, in and out, not too sure what you are. Are you a batter who bowls? Are you a bowler who bats? But he came through when they needed him to. And they keep on having the faith in him to come through. Spanelo Makane also didn't have a great season. But he came right, 13 off 9. Yeah, it was important. Every run is important. So for me, I felt like I knew what the Titans were, and they looked buttoned up, and they then didn't hurt themselves by selecting poorly. Yeah.
Important point that you make there is the Khalim issue. Ashwell Prince didn't know what to do with him down at Province. Mandla does. Mandla, you're right, he didn't have a fantastic season last season, but he trusted in him. He backed him.
Hello, we're back for the second half. I'm going to add Anis Mohammed
Hey.
to the feed. Yeah. Hello. And we've got some rugby action going on. Anis, are you going to take us through it?
Yeah, Munster just kicked off deep into the South African 22 as South Africa clear their line. I think that was Urshul Jantjies there at the back. Doesn't find touch up to halfway, and Munster run it back at South Africa. They're now 10 meters away. They've just crossed the South African 10-meter line, and they are still rumbling forward up the middle now. A bit of a dart with some hands in there. Apila Fassi regathers and is jinking and jiving all the way through the middle. It is now with the South African lock number 5 as this thing slowed down a bit. South Africa getting their structure. Urshul Jantjies to the boot, box kick high in the air, doesn't get much distance. Munster regather on the halfway line and are driven backwards. They now reset and go blindside where there is no success. They are being driven back slightly now as Munster run at South Africa, half gap taken, and they are flinging it wide as that was a forward pass there behind the back, Mr. Referee, which is not picked up as South Africa defending up the middle of the field now. Munster go wide to the near side touchline and are running down the trams where they are stopped 5 meters out from South Africa's 10-meter line. They cross the 10-meter line now, and it is hoiked through, and Munster has they are now 5 meters out. That kick through is regathered by Munster, but now South Africa on defense, and they're driving Munster back about. They're now halfway in the South African 22, recycling the ball. A dog ball now driving forward. However, he is stopped. South Africa still defending their line. They're about 10 meters out now. Munster recycling up the middle, and there is again contact more and a dab through, and this one is going to be another try for Munster. Out of nowhere, the dab through the grubber beats the South African defense. No one at the back, and Munster slide through for a try, and that is South Africa immediately not reeling from some shell shock there. Munster playing some dynamic rugby here. The kicking game coming good for them. Not finding a way through the South African wall of a defense, so they just put a dart through a little grubber, and they managed to get the score.
Yeah, Ben Healy there, the number 10, just with the softest of touches, noticing that the South African cover defense out of position, everybody up in the line, trying to stop the pick and go, and they're having a look here, the referees, but I think they're going to say that the number 15 for Munster, Mike Haley, is going to be credited with that try. It's 26 points to 7 to Munster. Yeah. And it's the 4th minute of the second half. Munster putting the heat on the South African A team, telling them to come back and asking them to come back into the game, and it's 28 points to 7 now as the conversion is good.
I just like to point out that they were trying something cute, trying to pass around the back, and that was well forward, not picked up by anybody. And wants to go on to score. Oh, it was shocking from halfway.
Yeah, well, the rain scores must make it difficult for the referees to see what's going on. So let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Yeah. Let's see what the Springboks can do here.
Johan Goosen about to do the restart now. Wonder when
Springboks playing left to right on our screens. And 44 minutes gone. 28 points to 7, Munster lead.
Bit of a chat with the ref. Oh, there's going to be a substitution. Yes? No?
Yeah, Lawrence Stilcoat saying if we're going to play like this against France, he doesn't know if we've got a chance. Well, this is not the team that's going to be facing France. These are the dirt trackers. These are the touring team members for the box. They're getting a chance. So I wouldn't read too much into this, but I'm worried about us against France, given what we did against Ireland on Saturday. So we'll see. And you'll be able to listen to another live digital audio broadcast on Saturday.
Yeah. It seems like Dan Dupree and Grant Williams are about to come on the field. Yeah, there's Grant Williams coming on, replacing Jantjies. Herschel Jantjies, that is. And Dan Dupree coming on for... not sure whom. Dan Dupree is a big boy as well as Goosen finally does the restart deep into the Munster 22. Great covering from the Munster, taking out 2 or 3 members of the South African defense. But there's a turnover, no, penalty to Munster, South Africa. Yeah, Joseph Dweber penalized there for hands in the ruck. And it is going to be a Munster with the ball from their 22. And they're going to be kicking this time, since they're going from right to left. They'll be playing into the wind.
Patrick Brady says, just admitted the South Africa are losing the internationals match. Patrick, we will never do such a horrible thing, as we see the wind messing with Munster's kicks. They also missing a penalty kick here to the near side touchline. Goosen sends it out over the 10-meter line on the near side. South Africa will be defending a Munster line out on their 10-meter line. We are firmly green-colored glasses here, Patrick. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your comment. And yes, the game is not done. It's only 21 points that South Africa are behind with 35 minutes to go in the second half.
As Munster regained from their line out and run at the box, whose defense is lined up, and there was a bit of it knocked straight down, I guess. Very flat pass there from Munster again. Testing that line. This time, the referee says there is a knock on, and it is a scrum down to South Africa.
Good defensive pressure here by the Springboks. The Springbok A side on the back line of Munster. And that was another forward pass not picked up from Ben Healy to the hooker to number 2 there, Barron. So it's going to be a scrum to South Africa for a knock-on that the referee eventually picked up, and it's just inside the Springbok half, almost in the middle of the field, just to the near side of the park. So let's see what South Africa can do here.
Quick ball from Herschel Jantjies, who does it not Herschel Jantjies, Grant Williams, who does it by himself, as Goosen not scared to run the ball. And again, a knockout from South Africa in midfield. And it will be another scrum, this time to Munster. Slippery ball here, just not conducive to running rugby. Grant Williams doing an amazing break off the back of that scrum, catching Munster unaware.
You can even see that the cameramen are struggling to keep their lenses clean, as we see a very foggy view of that last play. It's a scrum to South Africa inside Munster, just inside Munster's 10-meter line, about 20 meters from the far side touchline. Very enterprising play there by the Springbok A team, but the ball just not sticking to the hand.
That's a good scrum here. Scrum goes down immediately from the front. Munster have the penalty advantage, and they're running up the far side touchline now, and South Africa regather, but they will come back for the penalty. Munster gaining a territorial advantage of about 20, 30, 40 meters. And getting blown up.
These days the referees will put a heavy price on a penalty advantage before they call advantage over. So Ben Healy here for Munster is going to be able to kick this ball to the far side touchline. He is worried about the wind. He's throwing pieces of lawn up into the air, trying to keep the ball low there with his kick to the far side, and he's set up the line out just inside the 10-meter line of the Springboks on the far side. I see a replay of the scrum.
There was a Munster knee down first in the middle of the scrum.
Yeah, it's always frustrating because the referees have different ways of blowing the game.
Munster with the line out now, as they form the maul, and they are going rumbling forward. Springbok defense not able to stop this Munster maul. They have now, and they are going to go open side now, and they pop one up, and it is Marcus called at the back.
Yeah, Leolon Zas with the mark there in the middle of the park for the Springboks inside the 22 as the number 14 for Munster joined the line, kicked the ball forward, and that was Shane Daly. So the Springboks set up a line out just inside their own half on the near side of the field. So as Daly saw the ball going towards his feet, he knew he wouldn't be able to catch it, so just kicked it forward, and it looped through the air. Leolon Zas with the mark, and it will be a Munster throw, on the near side of the park, just inside the Springbok half. So Dweba is off, replaced by Andre Igu Venter.
Not the first Andre Venter to play for the South African team. South Africa steal this.
Good line out steal by the Springboks. It goes down the line to the middle of the park, inside their own half. Rumbling forward are the Springboks, just over the halfway line. Advantage. Williamson into the hands of Mchunu.
As the box rumbling up
into the middle of the park. Going forward, rumbling forward is De Pre into the hands of the captain, De Toy. Rumbling forward up to the 22 now of Munster. The Springboks to the near side they go. Breaking the one tackle, the next tackle. It's Sikombuze Noche, I think. Grant Williamson sends it back over the 22 of Munster. And into the 22 of Munster. Almost now go the Springboks. Goosen out to the back line. Van Wyk with a scrum cap on. Goes over the 22 on the far side of the field. 20 meters from the far side touchline. Springboks into the 22 now with a break by the scrum half. Good ruck. Counter ruck here by Munster. Springboks pick and go. Through the gate go the Springboks. Good support there. Another pick and go by the Springboks. 20 meters or so from the far side touchline. About 20 meters from the Munster goal line. They come to the near side. Ball through the hands. Backs and forwards working together. Cornel Hendricks stepping through 1, 2, 3. Crashing through a fourth tackle. Sets up the ruck. Grant Williamson into Mchunu, who goes forward now for the Springboks, looking dangerous. They've got to spread the ball wide here. Munster's defensive lines are well set. They're in the middle of the park. 10 meters out now are the Springboks. They pick and go once again. Venter, the replacement hooker, getting driven back. Grant Williamson to the far side they go. Another ruck, another pass and ruck by the Springboks. Yet another pass and ruck. This time the number 13, Van Wyk, goes in for the contact. Williamson. Now the Springboks trying to send it through the hands. Apelele Fasi goes down 8 meters from the try line. It's De Pre, number 8. He's 6 meters now from the far side touchline and from the try line. The referee says that was a good turnover by Munster. He calls them back for an offside by Munster. It will be a penalty to the Springboks. Somewhere inside the 10-15 meter area of the Munster try line. The Springboks try as they might, just as we saw against Ireland, they're a bit one-dimensional, Anis. They're just not finding spaces. They're just not breaking down the defense. They're just trying to go straight up the guts, and it's not working.
With the weather being what it is, they are. It actually makes sense to keep it tight and keep going for the pick and go because you're not giving the ball air and giving. As we know, South Africans when it's raining have poor hands.
Yeah, but still, I mean, you want to see them try something, especially if you've got a penalty advantage. You swing the ball wide. You know, advantage ball has to go wide, but it's easy to sit here and talk about it. These guys are actually there and they're trying their best, we know, because all of these guys are knocking on the door.
Yep.
So Zebo is off for Munster. There are 27 minutes left to go. Munster leads South Africa 28 points to 7. And even the camera lenses are fogging up. It's a scrum to South Africa, about 10 meters out from the Munster try line, just about 5 or so meters to the left of the left-hand upright. Good solid scrum by both teams. The ball isn't coming back quickly for South Africa. Now De Preer has it at the back. Grant Williamson is there. They're trying to milk the penalty. They have the penalty to South Africa. Now they spread it wide. Cornel Hendricks missioning inside, cutting an inside line there. Double movement by Cornel Hendricks, says the referee, and now he's going to have another talk to the Munster captain, the number 6, O'Donoghue. And this man should have had at least 2 or 3 of his teammates sent off by now. And Thomas de Tooy, being a tight-head prop, he says, we'll have another scrum, ref. We don't want the penalty, we'll just scrum again. So hands and knees and everything on the ground there by the loosehead prop of Munster. So we'll see if Thomas de Tooy can vindicate himself here and get a penalty try, because the South Africans need 21 points to draw level. They need to score 4 times to take the lead, and there's 25 minutes left. 28 points to 7, Munster lead. Solid scrum by both teams. Grant Williamson at the back. Snipes around. Sends it to Goosen.
No!
Wide outside to the right wing of South Africa. And that is a try to the Springbok A team. That is number 14. That is Suleiman Hartzenberg.
Hartzenberg, sorry.
From the DHL Stormers. From the Stormers.
Yes.
The Stormers.
Oh.
Let's see if Hartzenberg managed to keep his foot in before he grounded the ball. No, his foot is in touch before he actually grounded the ball in the goal area. So good cover defense there by Munster. It's going to be a Munster line out on their own 5-meter line. And some really unsportsmanlike behavior by the crowd there. People rubbing in the faces of the Springbok fans. So very glad I'm not there.
Next thing you know, there's a fight in Ireland.
Yeah, no, these guys are they're not nice. They're not nice people. Okay, so it's Munster throwing into the line out on their own 5-meter line. And it goes to the middle of the line out, passed out the back, and into contact goes the first pass by Munster. They're 5 meters out now into the hands of Ben Healy, who sends it to the near side touchline, and the ball is going to cross the touchline just outside the 22, where it will be Andre Huventer to throw it in for the Springboks, just outside the 22 of Munster. And there are 23 minutes left now in the second half. South Africa trail by 21, South Africa A. Signals being sent there.
Need to come away with points every time they visit the 22 now.
Yeah, and they don't.
It's getting a bit.
And it was the same thing that we saw against Ireland. It's very easy to predict what the Springboks are doing and very easy to stop it. So it's Nortje in the middle of the line-out. Maul set on the Munster 22. South Africa edging forward a little bit. Is the referee going to call out these Munster forwards? He calls use once to South Africa as Venter has it at the back. Williamson sends it to the middle of the park into the hands of Cornel Hendricks, who's swamped by 3 tacklers, but good support. And one pass ruck once again by the Springboks into the middle. 22-meter line of Munster just in front of them still as they go one pass ruck once again with De Pre now rumbling into the 22 of Munster. And it's another pick and go. One pass ruck here by the Springboks, this time inside pass by Hendrikse. This time the Springboks set it up on the far side. And to the near side they go, climbing towards that Munster try line. Munster with excellent defense here. Very predictable play by the Springboks, so it's easy to defend. 3 or 4 tacklers awaiting each Springbok runner. The Springboks try once again with the one pass ruck. And once again, they just managed to edge it up to the advantage line. But good control of the ball. They're managing to keep possession. No mistakes yet. Another one pass ruck there by the Springboks. Another one pass ruck by the Springboks. And it's going nowhere this time behind the advantage line. Williamson takes it up himself this time, tries to snipe through. Springbok support is there. And pick and go by Apelele Fasi now. He's deciding to take the law into his own hands. Almost stolen there by Munster, but the Springboks have it. 6 meters out from the Munster try line now. The referee says that was good. The turnover was good, but the Munster players told to release now for some reason, and they do, giving the Springboks a reprieve there. Just in front of the posts now, Hendrikse sends it into the hands of one of the forwards here, 5 meters out now, the Springbok A team. This one goes 4 meters out now, pick and go. One pass ruck by the Springboks, very predictable, very easy to defend here by Munster. This time, one of the Springbok players manages to break through one tackle and surprises everybody, and the Springboks seem to be over the line. No, they've got to recycle the ball. They're just on the Munster try line now. And the referee saying, held up. He's not sure. So it's very predictable here by the Springboks. They're just relying on their size advantage, which isn't that much. Everybody's got big rugby players these days. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not like it was 30 years ago or 40 years ago. I mean, these guys are all professionals.
Yeah.
And I heard somebody, Ricardo Muelman, said, yeah, unfortunate game plan that these players are forced to play. Yeah, it's. I wouldn't say that it's a Rassie game plan. I'm not going to post the comment up for too long because there's some swear words in there, but it's the same game plan, and it's very predictable, and it must be frustrating as a player that that's what you have to play, and we saw Apelele Fasi coming in for a pick and go. I mean, if you've got talent like that and legs like that out in the back three, why don't you give them the ball? And if you're going to play that game plan, pick 3 flanks for your wings and your fullback. You know, put an extra 8 man at fullback and two flankers on the wing. Because if they're never going to get the ball, at least they're going to get the ball back if your movements break down close to the try line. But that's just my opinion. I mean, I don't understand why you have these absolute attacking forces in your back three, and they never get the ball. So, there I'm agreeing with Ricardo. It's a confusing game plan.
It's a debate that I keep having with one of my colleagues at work. Not really a debate, it's more of a thought, where we see these players at club level and provincial level, and they have all this dynamic attack, and they run, and the way they run, and they jink and jive and step and everything like that. The moment they get a gold jersey, a Springbok jersey on, all that's coached out of them. That's not how we play. So
they're just chasing high kicks. They're chasing box kicks. and they never get the ball in a backline move. Never.
Yeah. I
Never,
remember,
ever.
I remember in South Africa lost against Japan. The player that got the most flack in that game was Pat Lambie, because he didn't do anything at fly off. And my question was, Pat Lambie didn't get any attacking ball because even if he was first receiver, it would be one of the forwards that got the ball. So you're blaming a guy that touched the ball twice in the game for not doing anything. It's weird.
Mr. Mohammed, take us through the next 10 minutes.
As South Africa have the scrum now, and the Munster scrum disintegrates, and they milk the penalty. This time, the forwards didn't have to plead.
It's got to be a yellow card now. It's got to be a card now. Yes.
Finally, the yellow card has been pulled out, and Munster down to 14. Still complaining about wheeling. So they've lost a prop. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, stepping around the contact was the loose head prop for Munster. That's I don't know if he's been replaced yet.
No, he's the replacement. So
it's Liam O'Connor, number 17, in the sin bin for 10 minutes.
So does that mean uncontested scrum, or they can't bring on?
They have to replace him with another prop, and then they have to send somebody else off. So they're going to have to bring
someone back on.
Salanua back on. No, he's the tight head. Josh Wickerly.
Yeah. Josh Wickerly. Yeah. As the box.
Thomas du Toit's. Yeah, Thomas du Toit's tactic of just scrum and keep scrumming is working.
They need to come away with points now. A bit of an early shove from the box. Another disintegration of the scrum from Ireland. Springboks are over the line. Referee out of position, and they're going to be called up for it being short. Will they?
No, man. Sikombuzi Noche is coming up with the ball on the other side of the goal line. Now the referee goes up. I mean, that should have been a penalty try. That should have been a penalty try. The Springboks were scrumming all over this Munster team.
The scrum disintegrates. Must be
completely.
Must be a try.
There you can see the ball is already there over the line. Let's see from this angle what we can see here. So Sikombuzi Noche has got some support here, and he's definitely, the first time I saw that ball, it's definitely over the line. No, that's somebody's pants. That's not the ball. Okay, so the ball was short.
Just.
Ish.
But surely it must be another card and a penalty try. Surely.
It is a try. They've awarded the try.
Oh, they awarded the try.
It's 28 point to 12. Okay, all right. I've got to update the scorecard. Hang on. Okay, we've got 12.
Yes,
and with the kick to come,
Gianni Lombard gets it over. 28 to 14.
Yep.
South Africa trailed by 2 tries. Just keep scrumming, I guess.
Well,
just keep scrumming.
It's a bit. It's a bit of a one-dimensional game plan, but Sikombuzi Noche
works though.
Got the try for SAA, and Munster will kick off. They're playing right to left on our screens. 17 minutes left to play in the Munster versus South Africa A game from Cork at the Parc de Cuivre. Parc Equive, excuse me.
Regather, it's an advantage to Munster, or knock on, as Munster now the referee's going to call it back. Bit of broken play, bit of untidy play. They're coming back for a scrum, which Munster must be dreading. about on the South African 10-meter line, about 5 meters in from the far side touch line. A lot of Munster players pulling on tackling South African players without possession, going for their ball. Oh, came back off a Munster player, and then was not here. Was going for the ball, was tackled without it. Fantastic refereeing here today. That is not sour grapes. That is just what we are seeing as the scrum is being set now. Munster with the put in. They touch, they go down straight away. Early shove from the box. They get a free kick, which Munster have taken early. And they are running at the box, up the middle, trying to break this line again. But the box just monster them back about 5 meters.
Yes.
As the South African defense is holding strong and shutting down this Munster attack. Again, going up the middle, trying to spread the defenders. Running into traffic are Munster now, and recycling, and a couple of defenders are taken out by players standing in the line, and there is going to be a ball carried out, touching goal, and it's going to be
I think there was a late tackle. It's a goal line dropout signaled by the referee, I think. Forward pass there, not picked up, and then a late tackle, a late shove on the kicker as Leolin Zas dots this down inside the goal area of South Africa, with Munster attacking on the near side touchline. 28 points to 14.
Net gain.
That's a
drop out.
Referee's missing a lot of stuff here.
Munster running back at South Africa now, just inside the South Africa 10-meter line, as they float a pass out wide. Long skip pass, nothing doing, jinking and jiving up the middle of the field. And there's a penalty against South Africa for tackler not rolling away. Oh, it was on his feet, was contested and cleaned out. Yes, he didn't release the ball fast enough. Did the South African Munster?
It's difficult to read this. Yeah, it's difficult to read this referee. He keeps blowing the same situations in different ways. So it's difficult for the players to keep up. But 28 points to 14, Munster lead. They're not going to go for posts. They're going to go for the far side touchline. This penalty is just inside the Springbok 10-meter line. And Ben Healy sends it over the far side touchline. The assistant referee's flag is up about 15 meters out from the Springbok A try line on the far side. Malakai Fekitoa, number 23, is there on the park. One of the best names to say in world rugby, Malakai Fekitoa.
There's Munster now with the line out. Thrown in, untidy ball. South Africa regather, and they hoof it downfield. And fine touch, fantastic clearance actually. South Africa now, Munster will have to put it into the line out to about 2 meters in from the South African TB line. With hopefully with some solid get the ball again. Munster setting up the lineup now. This one to the front of Munster, and they form the maul. South Africa trying to maul them sideways, and they are successful in this. And they have the Munster player all wrapped up. And there's turnover ball. No?
Yes.
Penalty to Munster for not releasing from the box.
Tackler not releasing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Munster ball carrier came away from the back of that maul and was tackled by Nortje. And then the referee saying that the counter-ruck was not good because the South African player did not release the tackled player.
Tackle is Munster again, going for the corner. and they will get the line out about where we started earlier on, 15 meters out from the South African line, and on the far side touchline. Will Munster be able to get something going this time? They're going to go to the back, and it is well taken at the back this time. Munster get the more going. It is going sideways. They will peel off. Very well done by Munster. The maul broke down. South Africa have regained possession.
Yes.
And will now try to rumble it up the park. Williams now at the back, setting up a box kick, woofing it into the night sky. This one drops short of everybody. There is a missed tackle by the box, and now Munster are running it, and that would be a forward pass anywhere else in the world. And the ball is out on the near side. The referee has called the forward pass. Says nothing about the Munster player jumping over the Springbok player on this near side in front of the touch judge. Jumping over his back.
Yeah, basketball pass there by the fullback, Mike Healy, to the near side, Mike Haley, to the near side, resulting in a forward pass, and it's a scrum to the Springboks. 10 minutes to go, 14 points the difference. South Africa A trail Munster by 28 points to 14. So this is a tough task now. 9 minutes now for South Africa A to make 3 scores to beat Munster in Cork. At the Park Equive. And now
scrum goes in.
Williamson with the ball in. Good scrum there by the Springboks. Penalty advantage to the box. The ball pops out at the back for Leoland Zas, I think. No, that's Cornel Hendricks on the 10-meter line of the Springboks. Ball comes to the near side, almost in the middle of the park. Springboks rumbling it up, trying to see if they can get advantage from this advantage ball. It's over the 10-meter line of the Springboks now. They go with the one-pass ruck once again. Nothing, says the referee. And it's around the side there. Grant Williamson breaking through, sending the ball out into the hands of Van Wyk. He's onto the 10-meter line of Munster now, but he's isolated. There's nobody there. It's a Springbok penalty advantage. Nortje, pop pass out to Venter. The fullback, Fassi, is in the line. He kicks the ball forward. He's in front of the posts, but it's gathered up by Munster, and the referee will call them back for the Springbok advantage. Just outside the 10-meter line of Munster, I think. Apelele Fassi is really trying to inject himself into the game here because he's not getting the ball from normal play, and he'd almost got a try there. Just dribbling the ball through, trying to kick the ball through, trying to get the points on the board for the Boks. 7.5 minutes left, 14 points the difference. Oh, Apelele Fassi is really trying his best. Man, put that man in the box. Give that man the 15 jersey, man. Come on.
Yes.
So this is the number 23. That is Gianni Lombard of the Lions. He puts the ball over the far side touchline with that penalty kick, and it will be a line out to the Springboks.
Fantastic run by Henko Van
3
Wyk.
meters out. Yeah, Van Wyk, that number 13 with the scrum cap on, he's also had a good game so far, but you know, every time a Springbok breaks the line, everybody's surprised, especially the support players who are not there. The Springboks set up the maul, and now Hendricks is passing it to the near side. They're going to the 15-meter line through Cornel Hendricks. Venter, the replacement hooker, is there behind the advantage line, tackled. One pass ruck set up once again. This is Matanzima, I think, driven back by Munster. Now they're 20 meters out. Nortje trying to muscle his way forward. Doesn't get past the advantage line. One pass ruck once again by the Springbok 8 team. This time slipping a tackle here is Matanzima. He's got some support. Depree with the inside pass there. Lost forward by the Springboks in front of the posts. 10 meters out from the Munster line.
Oh, wait.
And there was a penalty advantage. And another warning going out to O'Donoghue here, the Munster captain. Cornel Hendricks seems to have taken over the captaincy from Thomas the Tank du Toit, who's off the field. So it looks like the Springboks will set up a tap and go.
Yeah.
Yet another warning.
6. Just like
Yeah, they got a yellow card after, I think, 8 or 9 warnings. I don't know.
Yeah,
let's see.
Mahumba on
Oh
for
dear,
South
here's
Africa.
somebody I need to ban, block. Goodbye. Okay. 14 points the difference. 5 minutes to go. 5.5 minutes to go. Time is off. The referee waves off the support staff and the water carriers and the extra coaches and everybody else. It's the game is over as a contest. Let's see if SA team can get something back here.
Consolation try.
Yeah, Van Wyk, I think, and Fassi had good games for the SA team, but Munster defending their home ground very well, and this will be the first victory for Munster against the touring Springbok side. So well done to them. As the scrum is set here, Williamson at the back waiting for the ball. The Springboks shoving Munster back. The referee is not impressed. He says no, both sides went up. Nobody went down. So Springboks will have to waste some more of their own time because they need to score 3 times to win this game, but they don't seem to have any aspirations of winning this game at this point. They didn't seem to have any aspirations of winning the game throughout the game.
Yeah.
It's
It
yeah.
looked like they were playing fast, but they didn't do much with the ball that they had. So then they just started, as you said, one ruck ball, and it being a bit one-dimensional. Safer rugby, sure, but up and there we go. Penalty to Munster, slipping. It's insane to me. Insane.
Yeah. So one mistake by the tight head prop, replacement tight head prop for South Africa. That is Matanzima, and South Africa lose the field position, and Munster gain some more confidence. And now these Munster players will think that they can actually play rugby. So that's also dangerous. It's also dangerous for them. I hope the coach just gives them a reality check because the Springboks have been poor.
Yeah, this game means a lot more to Munster than it does to the Springboks. However, it's still a Springbok team that is losing to, even though it is a dirt tracker team, losing to the Irish club team. Not a happy hunting ground recently for South Africa is Ireland.
No, they'll be happy to see the back as there's a maul set up here by Munster. They have the advantage. Springboks collapsing the maul on the 10-meter line of Munster. And now jumping across the line and making contact in the air, says the referee. And now Springboks at least trying to win the fight. Everybody walking away except a few of the Springbok players. And yeah, now it's just a bit of handbags and jersey pulling and all of that stuff, and who's going to buy the beers for the braai afterwards. And it's a penalty to Munster on the 50-meter line just inside their own half. and it'll be relief for them. 2.5 minutes, 2 minutes and 15 seconds left on the clock. So it will definitely be a victory to Munster. They're going to try and see if they can humiliate this SAA side a little bit more.
Yeah,
and
one more try.
It was Dan de Preer jumping across. He was contesting there for the ball, but made contact. This time it's Norkia making contact with the jumper in the air, and successful this time. The Springboks have possession, but the referee says there was a knock-on by the Springboks, and Munster giving themselves an applause. Very cock-a-hoop of the Irish side here, and rightly so. They have been outplaying the SAA side for the entire game. There's 90 seconds left on the clock. 28 points to 14. I was looking forward to scoring this game and putting some scores up for the Springboks, but it's 4 tries to 2. And Munster have the scrum 5 meters from the far side touchline.
Minute to go.
And that 60 seconds left on the clock. Munster with the feed to the scrum. Solid scrum by both teams. The ball is available, and Munster will just wait it out. Try and set up a few more attacking moves. It's a one-pass ruck this time by Munster. Another one-pass ruck by Munster in the middle of the park. Ball pops out, in control by Munster once again. Lots of support here. They're just going to wear down the clock here. They're just going to wait it out. They've got 30 seconds left to go. One pass ruck once again by Munster going to the far side. They've got no intention of any attacking play at this point. They just want to keep control of it. They're doing a good job of it so far. To the far side they go, to the short side. One pass ruck once again, trying to hold up the ball. Oh, the South Africans trying to make it a maul. What does the referee say? No, it's in Munster's hands once again. Time is up on the clock. It's one more ruck here by Munster. They will send it out over the far side touchline. Ben Healy punts it into Rosette. And Munster have beaten the South African touring side for the first time in their history. The 4th time of asking. And well done to them. They played better rugby. Yeah, they played better rugby. It was rinse and repeat. They definitely watched the Irish game. The Springbok coaching staff have got to come up with some attacking moves.
Yeah.
Because they don't seem to have any.
They've got to allow the backline to play like a backline and actually get the backline ball. I think it also does. It's become a part of South African rugby where you're having your loose forwards in your back line, and instead of getting the ball to the center, it goes to a flank. And you're having your loosies playing on the wing and sometimes fullback. Like you were saying, if that's going to be the case, then just select 2 flanks and an 8th man to play in the back line. Yeah, back to the drawing board. Like I say, the South Africans need to work out some attacking plans. But it could be that it's just another one of those things where they draw teams into a specific way of playing. This is how South Africa is going to play, and then a World Cup happens and completely different Springbok team rocks up.
I was thinking the same thing. Maybe this is like a long game type of thing. I hope it is, because otherwise we're in deep trouble.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But you need to remember, South Africa's consistent. They win every 3 World Cups.
Oh, come on, man. I don't want to go in another World Cup with the best team and then be kicked out in the pool stages. What the hell?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh well. Well, it was a fun game. Yeah. No, really, a really crappy week for South Africa. It was fun to talk about it. I would say that it was fun, and we thank everybody for listening. We had quite a number of listeners tonight, so thank you everybody for sticking with us. And so looking forward to the French.
Yeah, and hopefully.
Oh.
No. So we've had a decent track record. Springboks have had a decent track record against the French lately, past couple of years, or past couple of times that they've played. So yeah, it's good. It's going to be good. Last South Africa three duck up in the last 3. So 3 on the road, three on the run for the Springboks in France at the moment.
Yeah.
So hope they can continue that.
Yeah, and the World Cup is going to be up there, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing that it's up there again. The last time it was there, South Africa won it.
So, hopefully Rassie is sandbagged.
Yeah.
With this game plan.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden in the World Cup, South Africa is going to start running the ball and pulling backline moves and making awesome tries. And I mean, they had that one move on the right hand side where Hartzenberg almost scored.
Yeah.
Just got his foot tackled with touch, but other than that, it's pretty much one-dimensional. It's very, very easy for the teams to defend.
Yeah.
When that's the way you play, and with they had tonight they had Van Wyk as a Henko van Wyk as a crash ball center along with Cornel Hendrickson. The ball never went anywhere near the wings.
Yeah.
It's just that one move. And I think it was Goosen that. Yeah, I think it was Goosen that passed the ball to the wing.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Johan Goosen as well didn't have any problem running with the ball. Really, he was the standout. He was one of the standouts.
He looked okay. The
starting front row was amazing. We're looking for positives now. The starting front row was amazing. It's just the rest. Just didn't really. And I was really disappointed with our loose trio. On paper, again, they're super exciting. Ulrich Rowe, Pepsi Buthelezi, and Jean-Luc Depree are fantastic players. But like we said, the things that make them fantastic and got them selected in the first place is coach after them in the Springbok setup. And that's a bit of a worry.
Yeah, Ulrich Lowe was nowhere.
Yeah.
Jean-Luc Depree had an okay game. Ulrich Lowe was just nowhere.
Pepsi Buthelezi didn't feature at all either.
No.
Very disappointing.
It was Noche, Sikumbuza Noche with that try. Yeah. Dan Depree also, I mean, it really looked like a side that didn't like playing together. They didn't want to play together. They just wanted to shine. I just want to show the coach how good I am,
Yeah.
That's the idea I got. So, yeah, it's worrying signs here because, this team has done some amazing things. We are still world champions, but it's difficult to see how they're going to defend that title if they have this kind of game plan.
I think that the intensity during a World Cup and being on tour for that long is you have to be on it from game one. So you need to have that focus for 8 games. And I don't know because during this past season, this Springbok team has gone to sleep.
That's right. And you're going to be playing in the Northern Hemisphere in this next World Cup next year. It's going to be rainy. It's going to be cold. It's going to be miserable. It's going to be the crappiest weather that you've ever seen in your life, and you can't understand why people live there. So the players just have to get around that. They just have to get past that. I don't know what plans are in place, but I hope there are some plans in place, because at the moment it seems that the plan is just make everybody think that we can't play rugby.
Yes. I think that lull them all into a false sense of security,
Yeah.
and then you'll see sparks of something good, and be like, then the coaches have to, no, don't do that yet. Just wait.
No,
But
it's been hard to watch, but it's been fun to talk about it. And Anis and Coach Dave, thank you, Coach Dave, for the stats pack. Thank you, Anis, for your time and sticking it out here with me. And in the witching hour is approaching, the midnight hour. I've also got a day of work ahead of me, and then we'll see you on Saturday night. I think it's
Yes.
a 10 o'clock kickoff.
Okay. It's gonna be fun.
But make sure that you follow us, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and switch on that notification, and then you'll see when we go live. And then the rest of our podcasts and everything else is on Facebook and YouTube, and we do love you all. Thank you so much for all the support, everybody listening and commenting and tweeting and going mad. We love you guys. Thank you so much. Final thoughts from you, Anis.
Looking forward to Saturday to see if we have been lulling everyone into a false sense of security. Not gonna say that the Boks are gonna destroy the French. It's gonna be a good game, and we'll see. See you guys then.
C'est la vie. We will see.
Hello.
À bientôt. Au revoir.
Bye.
Bye.